This topic's called solving proportions, and basically what a proportion is, it's when you have two fractions that equal to each other. One of the best ways to solve these, if there are letters or algebra involved, is to do something called cross products. We'll start off with a fairly simple type of problem. So there's probably a bunch of different ways that you could solve this. What we're going to do is I want to illustrate the property of cross products. Cross products means that you kind of remove the fractions. What you're doing is you're multiplying these two items together. 10 times x, that would give you 10x. You set equal what you've just multiplied to the other two things multiplied. So 4 times 14 is going to be equal to 56. Now you have no fractions. It's a little bit easier to breathe with this type of a problem. Sometimes fractions tend to introduce intimidation, and then your mind goes blank. So now you just have 10x equals 56. To solve for x, that means to get x by itself, you need to get rid of the 10. The operation between the 10 and the x is multiplication. So you end your multiplication by division, and you end up just finding that x is 5.6. Alright, let's do it. Kick it up a notch. We'll try a little bit more difficult problem. So this one here, we'll say that 9 over k minus 7 equals 6 over k. Again, some ugly looking fractions. We're going to apply the same principle that we did a minute ago. We're going to multiply these two things, and the trick here is that the 6 has to multiply with the k and the 6 has to multiply with the 7. So the way that we show that in math is we put the k minus 7 in parentheses. We set that equal to the other cross product. 9 times k will just give you 9k. Alright, to solve a problem like this, you want to start by removing the parentheses by distributing the 6 through. 6 times k is 6k. Copy the minus sign. 6 times 7 is 42. We'll copy all the rest of that equation because we haven't touched it. So we need to get all of our k's on one side of the equation. 9k is over there all by itself, so we're going to bring the 6k over by subtracting it. Double check. 6k minus 6k gives 0. That's what we wanted to have happen. If we subtract from one side 6k, we have to subtract from the other side 6k. So now we're rewriting. We have negative 42. Don't forget that negative sign is married to the 42. Equals, and then 9k minus 6k gives us 3k. The last thing we need to do to solve for k is to remove the 3. 3 and the k are multiplying, so we apply the opposite of multiplication, which is division. Those 3's will cancel out, and then we have to figure out what negative 42 divided by positive 3, and k will equal a negative 14. So the main things that you want to remember is you might be faced with some really ugly looking things. Just simplify it using cross products. At the very least, that will get rid of fractions. That tends to get people to breathe a little bit easier. Alright, let's try one more. I'll make it about the same sort of difficulty, so if this is one that you want to try on your own, what you could do is copy down the problem, hit the pause button, give it a solve, and then come back and hit the play button and see if you get the same thing that I get. Alright, so it's 4 divided by n plus 2 equals 7 divided by n. Alright, so how do we solve it? Cross products. We're going to have the 7 and put the n plus 2 in parentheses. That's the most important part of that. Equaling the other two cross products being multiplied. 4 times n is 4n. Same sort of undoing. To undo the parentheses by multiplying through. 7 times n is 7n. 7 times 2 is 14. We have a bunch of n's on this side of the equation, so we're going to bring the 7n over to that side. So we do that by subtracting. We're doing subtraction because we want the n's to disappear. 7n minus 7n does disappear. And now we should have the n's all on one side of the equation. 4n minus 7n is going to be a negative 3n. Last step, to get rid of the negative 3, we need to divide by the negative 3. And I'm going to leave my answer as a fraction. And I'll put the negative sign up there. So we have n equals negative 14 divided by 3. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to try, and this one is probably going to be one of the more complex types, but you apply the same principles, exactly the same. Just have to know how to solve equations, really. Okay, so this time we're going to start multiplying these guys together. What do we need to remember? The r plus 5 goes in parentheses. Set that equal to the other cross product. 8, again, put the r minus 9 in parentheses. The only difference really between this problem and the last one is that we have we have to do distribution on both sides. Sorry about that, I got distracted. 5 times r is 5r. 5 times 5 is 25. And now we distribute on the other side of the equation. 8 times r is 8r. Bring down the minus sign. 8 times 9 is 72. So I'm going to bring down, I'm going to bring all the r's to one side. I'm going to subtract this 5r, canceling it out from that side. I have to subtract 5r from the other side as well. 8r minus 5r, we now have 3 r's. So now we need to boot that 72 over to the other side, and we're going to undo the subtraction that's happening there by adding 72. So when I add, I'm going to get 97. The only thing left on the other side of the equation is the 3r, and that is not going to go into it evenly. 97 is not divided evenly by 3, so I'm just going to leave it as a fraction. My r value is going to be 97 divided by 3. One way that I could check my answer is to go back into the original equation, which is up here, and I could take my answer of 97 thirds, plug it in, and see if I get a true statement. That's going to be a little bit of grossness there. I'm not going to try to do that right now, so that's fine. So I'm just kind of double checking. Alright, I hope this topic helped. Thank you.